Diabetes.
Did I stutter?
These nuts. Got him.
All rise, order in the court. It is time, and Marky is here, and Griggsy, and Felucia.
I remember when they had a lot of battles going on in there, tons of embedded journalists, things like that. So yeah, it's for high. What's going on, K? K making big moves on the YouTube world.
Love that.
So got another awesome message from our good friend, Old Squishy Gardner, that made me laugh when I woke up this morning. Kudos to him for being that guy. I appreciate that.
Being that guy.
I like it.
I like this. Good to see everybody. We got some court for you. Judge Dude, I believe.
Judge Dude, still green around the gills. But, we hear a lot of stuff betwixt lovers and things like that. But sometimes, Creed, we just make bad decisions picking who we're going to move in with. Sometimes we pick bad roommates. And when those kinds of things happen, it's really uncomfortable because, at least when you were sleeping with somebody, you got something out of it. Now you're just stuck with somebody that you just don't even get along with, top to bottom, back to front.
Good.
That's how you're supposed to wipe. Front to back or back to front? I can't remember.
Learned that a long time ago. The old radio station. G. Stephen O'Neill is here. We can start.
Penalty of perjury.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. I'm going to adjust just a little bit here. We've been doing this since 9 o'clock today. My back is getting a little sore, but we're making progress. So
same Judge Dude. Would tell you.
Bad backs today. Talking to
all right, Mr. Andrews, you filed this against Miss Smith McDougal, and you believe she's a DeKalb County resident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You said you used to live with this person. When is the last time you lived with them?
After the TPO was granted the first time, that was the last time.
Okay, and so you said a previous TPO was granted, so was she removed from the home?
Yes. Well, the same one that we're in court for right now. If I'm not mistaken, I had a court.
So were you living with her when you filed this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then after the preliminary order was granted, maybe around the 12th, she was served with this and then removed from where you were living?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me what led to you filing the order, or filing the petition rather.
What led to me filing the petition was getting threats and having gentlemen come into my house with weapons and being aggressive. Well, her at one point being aggressive with me on an occasion that had happened whenever I had came to her asking about rent and stuff like that. But aside from that, also, I had a friend.
Did he fart? What's that? Why is he making a face?
What's the word?
I'm sorry. I got to ask you to back up about 5 seconds because my audio cut out. You said aside from that, and then I lost you.
I'm sorry. I had a friend that was here. Let me check my battery. I'm sorry. My phone is running very low. Okay, 5%. But yeah, I had a friend that was staying here at the house with us because he had ended up losing his place of staying. And while he was here at the place, I had ended up leaving and taking my daughter back to Florida. And while I was gone, I had received a message. She was just asking when I was going to come back and everything. I let her know everything like that. But whenever I got back, I had came in the house and then they were laid up in the bed together. And then she tried to tell me that that he tried to rape her or something like that. But so it's just like she was making a false statement on him. At first, I believed it was true. So I kicked him out. And then it turned out later on not to be true. And I could tell by the way she was trying to keep him in the house because
Is this some
What?
guy that's living there with them, or
Okay. Let's recap on what we've heard here from the beginning.
wow?
He moved her in.
Yeah.
Then she started having menfolk come to the house with weapons, long swords, bows, nunchucks, morning stars, coming after this guy in the name of her. So he has a friend that doesn't have a place to live, and he's got to take his daughter back to Florida. So he says, you know what? If you want to stay at my place while I'm taking my daughter back to Florida, you're good, bro. He comes back home, finds his buddy in bed with her, doing the nasty or slightly nasty. Depends on what you're into. And then she accuses him of the R word, which has him kicking his buddy out of the house because he believes him, which I'm guessing is doesn't speak much to their friendship if he believes that the guy is capable of these things. Was his name Clay by chance?
Never go take a shower bath when you're on vacation.
So that's where we are. But apparently she was as stunned as we were to hear this because Mom, Grandma, good to see you. Because she had a shocked look on her face when he just brought that up. Wow.
Kind of like the shocked look that I had that you go to court with less than 5% battery.
Hold on, Judge. I
Let me
was
check
watching
my
YouTube
fire.
videos all night. Shalom.
Those faces, though, that he's making definitely is either constipated or just sitting here pooping in Zoom court. I'm not sure. By the way, one of the two. All right. Well, that escalated quickly, and we're right into it. We got a whole. I hope everybody's on the same page. We'll know now.
A lot to unpack there.
Yeah,
lot
that's
to
a very
unpack.
quick little bit there.
like if somebody tried to rape you, why would you want them to be in the house with you still? Or if somebody tried to sexually assault you or anything like that, it don't really make sense to me. But
Your
All
battery's
right.
low.
Now,
came and stole. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, your audio had cut out. I didn't realize you were still talking. Let's do this.
I'm sorry.
I heard you say 5%. 5% might not
Yes,
even
sir.
be 5 minutes. There are no guarantees. So are you able to get to a charger where you can continue to talk to me with this thing
Yes, sir.
plugged in? Okay, let's take a
Yes, sir.
pause and do that.
Oh, wow.
Okay. 1 second.
I've never seen him do this. Like, I'd like to give you some advice.
Plug your phone in.
Does she got like a bandana
Yeah.
on her?
Yeah.
I believe she does.
Due to my rent not being paid and she had left with not paying the rent and stuff, my lights are currently off right now. So I have to go to the car.
He don't have any power. His lights are turned way off
Is
because
this,
of her not paying rent.
are you still living
Oh,
at
that's-
the, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going
That's
to say the
bad.
Tree Mountain address.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
my God.
We're going out to the
Okay.
car to plug in.
And
Wow.
Huh.
so
It's gotta be hot in that house.
Ooh. Lights are way
and
off.
she was
Creed.
living there with you up until she was removed by the sheriff.
You know what I would do if I was her, I would go over right now to the thermostat and show it and just bump it down to about 66.
Or just grab a Snuggie, throw it over you and be like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could just wear. I hear men like to put blankies on them when they stream, like right across here. Little blankies.
so cold in here, Your Honor. I can see my breath.
See, she should be doing that. But she's too polite. Like you guys said, she's too polite. Although she is sitting there very, very stone faced. I mean, very like
Unfazed, some would say.
yeah, RLS, he also needs to learn how to just go plug in somewhere outside. That's easy enough, right? Neighbors never notice. It's covered up a couple leaves.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Before then, she had already had a notice to vacate and stuff, so she was already going to be moving out. But due to the instances that we had, I went ahead and do the TPO. Aside from that, because I felt like my life was in danger.
Danger.
Okay. Now you said that all these people who came to make these threats to you were doing all this stuff. How do you know they were doing it at her request or direction?
I won't say that it was specifically at her request or direction, but I know she's kind of talkative, so she probably did tell people what was going on and put her own twist on the story, so people thought I was a bad guy, and stuff like that. So whenever
She flipped the script,
the
guys.
guy that had came in the house and stole some things, I had requested for him not to be brought back into my house because pretty much I didn't want to have him arrested, but I couldn't even just exactly prove it because I didn't have it on camera. But he was the only one that was in the house aside from her when some things came up stolen. So I asked for him not to be brought back to the house. And then after I had asked her for the rent and she got mad and she was like, you know, I'm going to have my peoples pull up because I feel like you're threatening me or you're trying me or something like that. She said specifically. And then she had that same guy that came and stole some stuff. And he had already threatened me before to come back to the house after I had asked him if he stole some things from the house. And she brought him back to pretty much stay at the house and live in there while she was there.
Man, he talks really fast and
Really
he's
fast.
throwing stuff out left and right.
Gonna have her people pull up. That's a new one on me. I haven't heard that one. People pull up. Are they gonna just pull up or are they coming in the house? If they're not coming down, you just lock the door. But
no, I think they pull up and come and beat you up or something.
Okay. So she's having people steal things from the home at her request. He says,
which he threw out there like he had already mentioned that, which he didn't. If I'm not mistaken, that was the first time. So I guess she got a lot of men in and out of the house. Is basically what it is.
She's a nice looking lady. She's probably got her pick of the litter.
After that stuff happened.
So she's made
so it was just like she was kind of
that threatened to bring people, and then people showed
yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, that was
That's
actually through text right there. That was on text. I got it in text. But,
okay. And the people that showed up, what were they telling you?
When he came, like I was outside when I had seen him because he had like I can't say for sure, but I seen something on him, and I didn't want to go up into my house because I didn't feel like it was safe for me to go up into the house at the time. So I had called the police to come. But whenever I went up the stairs and the police came, they told me I can go up there just to make sure everything was fine. They would chill out and wait downstairs. And when I went upstairs and knocked on her door, he was like, if you come in here, I'm gonna blow this, I'm gonna shoot it. Or he said, I'm gonna shoot some shit or something like that. Excuse me, my language, sir. But that's exactly what he said. So at that point, I'm like, okay. Makes sense. So then I tried to have him removed from the house, but the police wouldn't remove him. They said he could, that since he was her guest, that he didn't have to leave. So he ended up staying there for days, and then they had some people come over. He tried to fight with her guest that she had come over in the house. So it was just like it was just crazy because I don't know, I just didn't like that. And they almost got into a fight. Also, I'm sorry for stuttering my words a little bit. I'm just trying to remember everything that took place. That same
take your time.
That same night when all those guys came over, he almost fought the guys. She almost fought with him to kick him out the house, and then she brought him back 2 days later. So it was just like I can't live like that. I feel unsafe.
Okay. Well, what I'm concerned with today, or I guess what I'm required to consider, is strictly threats of violence or acts of violence toward you. And so,
yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
It sounds like the verbal confrontation you had with this guy, it sounds like he was already there. Now, granted, that's your house or your residence, but he's already there, and it seems like he kind of starts firing back at you verbally, kind of immediately and on his own. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was
so there wouldn't have been time for her to like,
Oh, she did tell him to close. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She told him what?
She told him to whenever me and her had started having a conversation because she was I heard her on the phone telling people like lies about what's going on. So I started talking to her. Me and her was having a conversation, and then she said, "Close the door." And when she told him to close the door on me, right in my face, because I was standing in the doorway, she said, "Close the door on him." He closed the door and hit me with the door, and that's when it had got to a point where like I had approached him like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Like, what are you pushing me for in my house? You pushing the door?"
She likes him getting hit with the door. Just is the slightest little like smile there. That was too good.
On me while I'm having a conversation with her. He had approached me at that point too, but it never went farther. She had pulled out her phone and started trying to record. After I had walked up a little bit, that's when she pulled out her phone and started trying to.
Mikey Creed framed and gone, or what? He looks very stunned, doesn't he? He just saw a ghost. Oh no!
record like I was trying to be aggressive and come in there and fight him and fight. She was trying to prove, but I got that all on audio recording too from when we was having the conversation, and then it just turned from her saying close the door on him, and then he closed the door and slammed it in my face and hit me with the door. So then that's when that had kind of went on. But yes sir. And then she had lost. Yeah, she's told me multiple times that she would have her boys come through, and that she said at least 2 or 3 times before. And that was just on other situations. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to figure out when some boys are going to come through or who they are or what they finna do. I would rather not have my life at risk just for that, no.
All right. And
So you guys were talking bad about Spectrum in the chat. That's what they do. They say, "Oh yeah, you like that?"
how long were you two living together?
It would probably be about 8 months, maybe, if that long. Yes.
Like all together.
And was this strictly a
Again.
roommate situation, or was there a relationship as well?
We're strictly roommate.
Damn, no sex.
Okay. Was she ever on a lease or anything to that effect?
She was never on the lease. She was supposed to be added to the lease, but
That's embarrassing. She's got all these guys coming through. You
Yeah,
saw them
she's
having
banging
sex.
everybody but you.
You got
And you
nothing.
live with her. You see her
God.
all the time. Even your friends is laid up with her.
Right?
It's not going well for him as far as his game. But I
No.
will say this. Everybody's saying how polite she is and this and the other. I don't know. I'm starting to get kind of scared of her just looking at her stone faced.
I know, she's a
Nonstop. Like she's
that's-
kind of intimidating.
What I was telling you I didn't even realize you were Creed framed or Mikey framed there.
I was like-
there was just the slightest little smirk, and she kind of went like this when we're talking about the door hitting them, or some guy closing the door on her.
Slam him with the door. My boys are coming through.
Yeah, but she's extremely stone faced. One time she's like, went, that's about it. Tiny little smile. Rest of the time, man.
Unfazed.
Yeah.
she had some things that she said she wanted to get her situated on her ID. And so that's why we, I guess, waiting
What, her
so
date of
long, it
birth?
never happened though. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Smith McDougal, are there questions that you think I need to ask Mr. Andrews that have not been covered yet? Keeping in mind, you will have the opportunity to testify after the questioning period.
I don't have any questions.
Ooh.
All right, very good. Mr. Andrews, did you have any other witnesses
Oh, lucky.
that are on the call that you wish to have testify today?
I have one person he said he's in the breakout room though. I don't know how to get
well,
him
let
in.
me look into that. That's something we can figure out. Ms. Goodman or Ms. Broom, are you able to
Yes.
see if
I
we have
him.
any like?
Yes, I have him. He's just not named. But I remember him.
He's got a friend that hasn't slept with her that wants to testify.
Hopefully, talks a little slower and has something to say.
All right, to our witness who's listed as Kerfala, if you could please unmute and turn your camera on.
Kerfala.
Kufala.
Kerfala's here to fight.
Hello.
Kerfala?
We don't have all day.
Kerfala. Hello.
We don't. I mean, maybe they did. Oh no.
Kerfala?
They just repoed his car and he was in it. And
I'm sending him to unmute and start video because you're not responsive. Oh, he said it's not allowing him to do it.
Okay, well, if we can tell him to maybe try to log off and log back in, we'll keep the hearing moving, and if I need to circle back, then I can.
Kerfala, paging Kerfala.
If we can get him back online. So
Kerfala.
ma'am, what we're gonna do for now is move on to your testimony. It's a little bit out of our normal order of things because he's having some technical difficulties for his witness.
is he though?
I say this as someone who had to shut his machine down and restart the whole thing in the middle of a different
Good.
hearing earlier today. It happens. And so we will work with them as best we can, but to use everyone else's time and be as respectful of that as possible. We're going to move on to your testimony if you wish to give it. Understand the statements you make can be used against you in other proceedings. With that said, if you would like to testify, please unmute and raise your right hand for me. Do you swear any statements you make will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Look how the painting is.
Thank you.
so
You can
close to
put your
the
hand down.
Does she really
All
have
right.
hands?
What would you like to tell us today?
So pretty much what he's mentioning in regards to the sexual assault that I discussed with him, with his witness, that has nothing to do with the situation that he had with my friend
witness?
Tony. But I'll just say this.
Wait, what did she just?
Kerfala is the guy that she said had done the bad thing.
Oh, come on!
And he's the
Get it
witness?
figured- get it
Come
figured
on.
out.
Kerfala's seeing everything that was being said about him, and he's like, "What'd she just say about me? Huh? What?"
Sorry about that.
Sorry, Kerfala.
Uh,
Kerfala.
okay, that's pretty interesting. Is it possible that what you just said happened, and so then this dude jumps out to like call him or text him and be like, "Dude, I need you though."
Yeah, he's like, "Man, I ain't going on that. She just said I did the R word."
Oh boy.
His situation with my friend Tony originated from what he said. Some of his belongings went missing. And it was some items that were not legally supposed to be in the apartment anyway.
What?
I did submit some text messages, some screenshots of the text messages where he was saying how much it was worth and that me and my friend were possibly in cahoots if I can't prove that he actually took it.
Was it
so that's where
drugs?
it kind of started off, where he didn't where he had an issue with my friend. I couldn't prove that my
drugs.
friend took it because when we went to wherever we went, his mother figure had him empty out all his pockets and he didn't have it. So I couldn't say that he stole it, but the plaintiff was adamant on saying that he actually stole it. That kind of evolved into the situation that happened on the 3rd of June, where it started off where Tyler tried to access my DoorDash account, which is how he was making money. He was making money off of using my DoorDash account, but was complaining to me that I wasn't making enough money. So what I did was I started using the DoorDash account full time and I changed the password. He said that I was being spiteful for that. So he said that he was going to return the favor and be spiteful to me. And he mentioned that rent was going to be late. And if I was late this time, I was going to have to pay last month's late fee, including the current late fee. And that's the things that he would do as the leaseholder, is that he would try to put on these extra fees and tell me this and that. And I couldn't really say nothing because he's on the lease and he wouldn't.
Boy, I hate to say this, but her and him make a perfect couple. They both are fast talkers. They're all over the place. We're talking about DoorDash accounts. We're talking about thieving. Now all of a sudden, what is he making up things for rent?
I mean, it's at the point now where she has just admitted basically that one, his witness is the R-wordist, and that he's basically, I guess, moving product through the house because it wasn't. She did it in such a beautiful way. I will give her that, about how it's illegal things that were in the house that were stolen. It's definitely makes it look like, she's painting them in a corner, so to say.
Do I understand this part correctly? He looked at it. So here, this is kind of conflicting. He looked at her DoorDash.
Right. He signed into her DoorDash.
You're not making enough money.
Right. He was using her DoorDash, I guess, like she said, to make extra cash. I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know why he wouldn't set up his own unless, I don't know. Who knows with this guy? But yeah, she's like, he's getting on her about not making enough money, but yet he's dashing under her name and taking the money, I'm guessing.
And somebody's moving potentially some
product.
I don't know. That's all.
Allegedly.
listen, if you're selling some drugs in your trap house where you have a lot of men in and out, and you're barely banging someone.
Did that painting get stolen from a Holiday Inn Express? It really looks like it belongs in a hotel, and it's hung.
It looks like it was
weird.
hung pretty close to where the windows would always be open, so the constant sun has been hitting it. You know.
Yes. Beautiful.
I'm pretty lost on hers too, but I think we have kind of an idea of what's going on. And by the way, if any of this is true, and if he really is like grabbing her phone to pull up the DoorDash and say, you ain't making enough money, and I need my rent, that's kind of shitty. But
it also is coming off that he's being bullied by everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, she's kind of pointing out that he's actually the bully a little bit here.
Yeah, flip the script, Craig. Flip the script.
That's right.
Allow me to get on the lease. I did say at first that I was in the process of changing my name and stuff, and we could make a separate agreement, but that didn't happen. So I was just trying to get on the lease, but he stopped doing that because of other things. But pretty much I submitted that. It's 6_3 conversation lead to incident. I have a video recording that he mentioned of Tyler actually in my room trying to fight my friend and me continuously asking him to leave. You can't be assaulted by a door unless you're standing standing in the doorway. And he was standing in the doorway arguing with me.
That's great.
I don't know. That's you're just standing near a door. A door can't fly open and hit you.
Nothing wrong with that, but listen, if you're going to do it successfully, you shouldn't have another side gig running around.
You should have enough money to pay your damn light bill.
Right, Gary? Thank you. 2 bones.
Never met a drug dealer that have lights.
So I told my friend to close the door, and my friend closed the door, and Tyler entered without my permission and began to get in the person's face and try to fight him.
What door is this exactly?
This is the door to my room. I have the video if you want to see it. It's a lot of bad language in it, but in the video, Tyler's in my room and I'm continuously asking him to leave my room. Please. And he's steady approaching the guy, and he's taking his socks off and asking me to stop.
But were they hard socks?
Taking off those hard socks for some hard action.
So he was actually
we'll see if Miss Broom can pull the video up. Ma'am, I'm going to be blunt. You have no idea what language I've heard today. Just today. I'm not even talking about all the other days we do court. I've already heard some things. Some of them I had to turn my camera off if I couldn't keep a straight face. So we'll do your evidence that you submitted
But did he remember he did that?
He has admitted that's what he does. Judge Dude is my man now. I love Judge Dude. Well done.
He just admitted that. That's amazing. Okay. Remember we said it looked like he was really
doing just that. Yeah.
Gary, where are you?
Oh, that's great.
Terribly.
I couldn't submit. I'm sorry.
I'll have you confirm once we pull it up that we have pulled up the right thing, and then we'll go from there.
I couldn't submit the video because it was a minute too long.
Okay.
I have it on my phone.
Oh, come on.
We'll do the best we can. If you want to try to hold it in frame for the camera and see if the camera will focus on it, I don't really know that we can do any better at this juncture, but we'll see what we have.
Oh, come on, from the yellow room.
Give me 1 second.
Are we trying to find the other dude by any chance? Or
I think that dude's bounced.
Oh, is that a girl? Oh, dude.
Get out my room, please. 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 No. Get out my room, please. Get out my room, please. Get out my room, please. No. Get out my room, please. Get out my room, please. Why you approaching me? Why you approaching me? Get out my room. Hey, you over there. You calm down. Back up. Back up. You didn't. He was trying to enter my room and he closed the door.
this little dude's trying to step up to him.
Yes, it's like he's about to. There's a child. I would be
looks
able
like
to
a
grab
child.
this guy with one hand. He's tiny. He's small.
Like-
That's him all.
like that.
Oh my gosh, he's backing down to guys like that. At first, when I saw it, I thought they were like dancing together, like they were about to kiss. But I realized quickly it was not a hard sex situation.
Get out my room. Get out my room, Tyler. Tyler. Get out my room, Tyler. Get out my room, Tyler.
But that was pretty much Tyler in my room on the 3rd. And that's the same day that he filed the suit against me. He didn't tell me nothing about it because I was still living there. On the 5th, I found an attempt to serve on the counter. And I submitted that as evidence. But what's interesting is that on the next day, on the 6th, Tyler and the person that he was just trying to fight, my friend, Tyler owns a LLC called Product Entertainment, and he produces music. So Tyler produced a song for Tony, which is the person that he was just.
What about Tony and Tony? All three of them. Bunch of thank you.
Oh boy. Tyler, the producer, even produced that little dude song.
Wasn't the little dude going? Okay, wait a minute. So she showed that video, and it was supposed to be basically against her landlord, if you will, roommate. Didn't the little dude seem to be the aggressor though on that?
I mean, he's the enforcer. He's trying to get him out of the room. I also noticed there was a Christmas bow hanging on her bedroom door. I'm not sure why, but he didn't have a shirt on. I think they were in there maybe being intimate.
Or
Tyler didn't like that.
I mean, at least there was power out in the house.
Trying to fight. So he's saying that I'm inviting thugs into the house and et cetera, but he's working with these thugs. And that's why I submitted it as
Tony.
I think I said produced song for a thug. That was the email of Tyler sending the my friend the song that he just produced for him. So yeah.
What? I bet it's a great song too.
I'm sure it's
all
amazing.
Right.
Wonder what style music it is. Country western. Hello.
Judge Dude, you okay? Processing.
Thinking some more. A little more thinking. He produced them. Judge Ariari.
Trying to think if I have other questions to ask at this point.
He really does look like he's crying in his mouth.
I don't believe that I do at this time. Mr. Andrews, if you're able to come back on video, do you have any questions you believe I need to ask this witness that
what's the name of the song?
Have not been brought up yet?
Oh, yes, sir. First, I would like to ask her, so you said for a door to be, for it to be assault or something, the door has to be slammed on somebody. Did the door not hit me in the face when it closed? Because when I was standing in your doorway,
her statement was that to be hit by the door, you had to be in the path of the door.
Yeah, and I was standing literally in the frame of the door. So when it closed, it hit me in the face.
Yeah, can you really use that? Like, I understand where they're coming from with that, but I mean, if I was ever hitting a car, well, you're standing in the road.
Yeah, what do we expect? Cars come through there.
I mean, that's just, I don't think that things work that way, but I guess maybe here it does. Down to thank you, 10 pounds.
So I think her argument,
I'm sorry.
This is really not a factual dispute. It's an argument, but her argument boils down to you couldn't have been hit by the door unless you were in her room.
And yes, because we were having a conversation, and she knew we were having. I got audio recording, but it's on my phone, and I'm doing the Zoom call on my phone. But I got all the audio from everything before and while that happened and everything. We were having a civil conversation, trying to get facts disputed, and then she got tired of me telling her the truth in front of her friends, and then that's when she had just told him to close the door. And that's when he closed the door and hit me in the face with the door. So then after that, when I had walked into the room at that point, because I'm like, you just hit me with the door. It's assault. That's when she pulled out her phone and started recording. But aside from that right there, I would like to see how much money. If you want to ask her, well, that don't even really matter too much because I mean, honestly, the whole DoorDash.
No, Tyler's
thing,
the big
yeah,
dude.
she did try to kick me off of that. And that, yes, I did say that was spiteful because it was, and she still hasn't even been using the DoorDash since. But aside from that, I don't. Any questions that I have to ask? You can ask her why we were having issues. If you want to ask that, because rent wasn't paid at all, like on time, like 7 months straight out of the 9 months. If 9 months we were together as roommates, so that's where a lot of the problems came, and that's why money was added because of late fee. I told her she had to pay the late fee. Yeah, you have to pay a late fee because you were late for rent. So if you want to, if you want to ask her some more questions about these things, she's saying, yes, sir, that's fine, but
the
she's
rent
just
dispute
bringing
is
up
not
half
something.
truths right now as usual, sir.
The rent issues are not really something that I'm
Yes, sir, and I understand that
empowered
too.
to address today, but this is something that'll be pending in another court, correct?
Mhm.
If y'all are behind on rent, there's going to be an eviction at some point.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yes, sir.
But that has nothing to do with her, though.
So what else?
She's not even. She wasn't even on
She's
the
on
lease.
the lease.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it had nothing. Yeah, that's it. You can't. Nothing to do with that, though. Miss Garrett, thank you.
How was your birthday? Did you get anything nice?
Not yet. It's a couple days. I think, right? All right. Get it right. I mean, she's not even on the lease, so
yeah.
I'm not sure how that. I guess she was squatting.
Tell you in that regard, and this is no swipe at the marshals. That is not a kind and gentle process if they come for your stuff. Their job is to empty it out as fast as they can because they have somewhere else to be. If there's anything you can do to secure a new place and get your belongings there, you have a better chance to protect your items, to keep them safe and undamaged and accounted for, than if the marshals show up actually. So just keep that in mind if that's something.
Oh, the first donation is always the best.
Oh, Jerry, I could really make a joke right now about the first dono, but I'm not. We're classy.
And you're able to rank and if you believe an eviction is coming.
Yes, sir. I
right.
have another roommate that's he literally just moved in, like the other day, so he's supposed to be paying his the rest of his rent. So then we'll go ahead and have all that paid. But so,
no, if they're accepting money from y'all still, then that would put a stop to all that. But you need to make sure you talk to them about that and everyone's on the same page.
Oh yes, yes, sir. I let them know.
All right.
May I say something?
Yeah, not just California. That's pretty uniform.
May I say something really quick? And this is the issue. I was always hesitant to pay rent on the and mind you, I have not always been late. But
I'm not here for rent. It's
yeah,
not,
I know.
I'm just going to jump in to say there's nothing you could say about the rent that has any bearing on what we're here to do today. And so,
okay,
that's those issues are there. I also know I'm going to have to attach myself to a charger momentarily, but here's what I can say.
Judge Dude is in rare form today.
What is going on today?
I love this. Donna, he wants a protection order against her because she closed the door. I don't know.
She's having men folk come over with weapons. Creed. I mean,
is this an eviction, Mikey? Does it even matter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but what does it
matter? Yeah,
he's gonna get kicked out, like you guys are saying in the chat. The power's off. 3 people living there, nobody can pay any rent.
In some places, if your power gets turned off, they will evict you because now you've turned into a just
So I'm not
bad situation.
He must. If there were these threats about the friends coming up, pulling up, and that a lot of the thugs, I guess, is what the terminology was used that was coming over to the house. That maybe that scares him enough to. But again, they're not living together. Soft. They're not friends, right?
I thought they were before they moved in, though. I mean, you typically move in people you know, unless he's the kind of guy that just moves in anybody.
She moved out as soon as that protection order went in. That's what he said.
Correct.
Right in the beginning. He said that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, even though this does point to another eviction,
she moved out just in time. It would appear, by the way.
I think you're absolutely right. She moved into the world of crooked Holiday Inn paintings and crooked.
Her
Campbell.
grandma's place is nice.
Carol, thank you. I saw you're in Amish country. Are you anywhere near that buffet, the smorgasbord?
Now we're talking.
Really do. Oh, yes, yeah. We talk about that all the time. It's a very popular way, and it makes sense. Evictions are a mess and takes a long time and a lot of stuff you got to do. But I guess is it fair to say he's scared of all this nonsense?
I think he's scared of all those people coming by. I think he is scared, but I think it's not because of her, just because of the company she keeps.
Doesn't matter. She's already out, and she ain't paying rent. Neither is he. And he's going to get evicted. They're going to court for it, as Judge Dude just brought up.
As the marshals show up to throw your stuff
It
on
appears that this roommate situation is at its end. Miss Smith McDougal, were you able to get your belongings out?
No, I'm not. I haven't been able to because I was kicked out like around 2 a.m.
By whom?
She came back the next day, but her stuff is.
Hang on, sir. Let me,
sorry,
Mr.
sir.
Andrews. Let me.
Can you guys all be quiet? I'm trying to say hi to the little girl, Kaylee. Kaylee.
What up, Kaylee?
They're all talking. You hear that? God.
Very educational
Her.
person.
So kicked out at 2 a.m. by whom?
That one.
So when I had got home late and he actually called the marshals to come serve me the papers. And so it was 2 a.m. and they served me and I had to leave at 2 a.m.
Okay, did the paperwork provide with like a trip back with a law enforcement escort?
Yes, they said that I could do that just to call each time, but I couldn't afford to. I didn't know that this was going on, so I couldn't afford to get a U-Haul, get a storage unit, and get everything situated because I didn't know it was going to happen. So I'm still in the process of getting all of that situated, getting a storage unit, and being able to get a U-Haul to get my things.
Whoa.
Okay.
Is a U-Haul worth?
So,
and how long do you expect that process to take?
I've already I pretty much been sleeping on my friend's couch because I didn't have anywhere else to go. But
crank it up, Carol.
Cranking.
You believe it's a friend's house? There's no way that's a friend's house. I'm sorry. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's mom's or grandma's.
There's a tank right there. If you notice,
Really?
like yeah, but I don't think there's water in it. So I'm thinking that's a terrarium.
Nah, could be. Yeah.
Kicked out at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's who knew that was even possible?
That's prime time.
And how much stuff could she have in there? It's a one room.
She needs a U-Haul, Mikey.
I would need about maybe 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks.
All right. Mr. Andrews, how long do you expect to be at this apartment?
Brothers, cousins. Yes.
You expect to stay there for the ongoing?
You said for the ongoing who?
Like, do you expect to be at this apartment for the foreseeable future, or do you expect that you will try to move somewhere else?
It's really up in the air, but I think I would try to be here. I put all this. I do have her belongings in the storage unit outside, so if she ever need to come and grab it, she can. But
what would she need to access that storage unit?
Her house key that she has.
So the key she already has would be able to get her into the unit to retrieve her belongings.
Yes, sir. Oh, let me put my face on the camera. Yes, sir.
Ms. Smith McDougal, do you still have that key?
I would have to check in my car to see.
Okay.
I'm guessing the place has, especially if it's the same lock. That makes sense.
Some places have like outside of your like a townhouse or whatever. There's an attached part that's basically like a exterior storage room. So I could see that.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is. Especially if it's the same key, that's the only way that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know where this unit would be that he's referencing?
I'm sure it's right beside the door.
I'm assuming that the units have like a dedicated, like a storage closet space type of deal. Okay.
Yeah, to the side.
All right. And he has expressed a willingness to allow that to take place.
Ivanka.
So
Sounds like she could swing by any time, actually, because you don't have to go inside.
And Miss
Yeah, but what if
McDougal,
he
your-
gets
Miss
kicked
Smith
out between
McDougal, your
now and
plan
then?
moving forward here is to find somewhere
I
else.
think that's what Judge Dude's getting ready to say, is that it seems a little more dire than he's
You
put
might
out.
want to hurry up. It might not be there in 2 to 3 weeks.
Right. I mean, but I bet you her thing is she doesn't have anywhere to take it.
Yeah, because I mean, you can move basically whatever in a couple of trips. I mean, even if you had to
Sure.
pack it in a buddy's car, get a couple of these thugs to show up, as this guy calls them, and
Right.
move them out.
I mean, they're busy producing music, but that's,
else for you to be moving forward, essentially.
Yes, I don't want to live with him at all. The issue is just that I have to have enough time to plan somewhere to go.
Dude frame. Dude frame. Dude frame. Woo!
we don't have a dude frame thing to play, do we?
No.
Well, we got a minute. Thirsty Thursday coming up next on We Got a Chase today.
Oh, we got one really drunk woman, one really drunk man, and one drunken chase. So make sure you're here for that at 4:05. You can watch it on We Got a Kid. Look at her face. She's like, what's wrong with the freaking judge?
She's never been in here for a Creed frame. So it's, and it's, I like how you throw that out there. Oh, he's got spectrum just like Mikey.
Well, he was talking about, there it is. He was talking about how his computer was dying.
Oh, it's true. He said he had
I need
restarted.
to heed my own advice. I sent Mr. Andrews for a charger when he was at 5%. When my computer said 5%, it pretty much shut itself down. So, Miss Smith McDougal, you were indicating that your hope was to find somewhere else to be, settle in a new place, and move on. Correct?
Tim?
I've been in communication with the complex that we were living in, and they were saying that they could get me into an apartment there, into my own apartment. The issue is that he has a protective order, and I think it's 100 yards that I can't be.
Is this one of those complexes that has like loads of buildings and units and whatnot, or is it smaller?
Yes, it's a really big like complex. It's like snake roads everywhere.
Okay, so
What,
Mr.
everywhere?
Andrews, let me ask you this.
Snake roads everywhere. Is that what she said? I think that's
That was a name that was turned down by Dusty Rhodes when he went to WWE. How about we call you Snake Roads? Nah, it just doesn't have the same ring.
We're not going to like pull up a map of the complex or anything like that, but sometimes we have cases that come to us that involve neighbors. And some of the things that happen in those cases are we might have provisions that people shouldn't contact each other or interact with each other. But we change that 100-yard barrier to something a little bit different to allow for people to come and go. Is that something that you would potentially be comfortable with? I think you'll have to unmute because it seems.
I'm sorry about that. So can you ask that question one more time for me?
So what she has said is that she is content, she is happy to go get her own place. The apartment complex is willing to give her an apartment separate and away from yours. Doing that would probably require me to adjust some of the language in the order. So for instance, it might tell her to stay 100 yards away right now, but it might say 20 or something like that if the order were to be changed to allow for that. And I want to ask what your feeling is about that.
Honestly, I don't like that, but at the same time, I don't want to stop somebody else from getting somewhere and living somewhere and having, a stable head. So, as long as she's not in the same unit as me and it's a certain amount of distance that she has to be away from me, then that's fine. I can do that. I wouldn't just be spiteful and stop that. No, sir.
I don't think it's fair that he is able to have an active protective order on me, and I haven't posed any type of threat to him, though. I'm more than willing to voluntarily not be around him because I don't want to be around him. But to have a protective order is just saying that I'm a threat to him. And in reality, it's the other way around. I honestly don't want to be near him at all. But to have a protective order on me is still saying that I'm a threat to him, and I've never been a threat to him.
Tyler's making me hot. Sorry.
Yeah, I wish Judge Dude had a little more
He
control.
just wanted to evict me, and this is a loophole for him to just get me out of the apartment.
Bingo.
No, this is not a
Well,
loophole. This is for my safety, my daughter's safety when she's around.
I will say this: that's certainly an argument to make. You know,
If he wasn't so far behind on rent and his power was out, if his
If
power
she hadn't
wasn't out,
paid any rent on time for 9 months or whatever, and I don't know.
I'd
she
have
says
a
he's a
different
threat. I'd highly doubt that just from watching him in that video.
with little dude.
Yeah, he couldn't even hold his own against that little tiny man.
In your own house, if you don't floor that little kid in front of you there,
Yeah.
coming after you, what are you gonna do?
You knock him out and call the law and said, man, he was being aggressive in my house.
And good point. He just dropped that bomb too. I don't think we knew that he was a
Because he said he took his daughter back. Well, that's when his buddy was
Oh,
trying
that's
to
right.
R-word her.
Yes, back to Florida as it was, but yeah, I don't know about the I don't know.
shared spaces are complicated. I think the bulk of the issues here will essentially have subsided when you two are not sharing space. And I think
honestly, I feel that's true.
And
cut him off, Judge.
What I'm going to do is this. It's a little bit different than a typical case. This is strictly a roommate case, even though it qualifies by law as family violence because of how we define these things. There's not going to be an order for family violence intervention. That type of class is not appropriate for this situation. The order is going to be an order that will last for 60 days, which is essentially give or take a day. It's going to be September 10th, 2023. I think that might be 61 days.
That's temporary.
But it will last through that date. It will order Ms. Smith McDougal to stay 20 yards away and have no contact of any kind with Mr. Andrews. And it will specifically state that she can access the storage locker for the purpose of emptying it. Or Mr. Andrews, what is the proper terminology to use to describe that room? Storage unit?
Yes, sir. It's a storage unit, storage room. Either one can work.
And are there things in there that are not hers?
No, sir. It's only her things in there.
A lot of blow ups I put outside during Christmas. That's about it. No, sir.
All right. So the distance provision does not prohibit her from going to the storage unit. She can empty the storage unit to get all her belongings and access that as needed. And then when she's done with that, she can surrender the key back to the complex. The way all this presents, I assume, is that she will be moving somewhere else in the complex. If she's moving somewhere else, then she needs to get in the room, get the stuff out of the room, and turn the key in so she can take her things to wherever else she may be headed.
And get in the zone.
Whether that is a different complex owned by the same management company or something different. Mr. Andrews, did you have another question?
I was just going to ask about how long would she have to get her things out of there if it was
2 weeks.
But,
2 to 3 weeks.
Ms. McDougal, you think you can get it emptied within 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, there you go. So she's to have that room emptied and have the key turned back over to management within 14 days. The no contact order will again order her to stay 20 yards away and have no contact of any kind, direct, indirect, or through third parties, electronic, phone call, text message, pager, fax, or any other contact talking about the person on social media, and so on. All of that is prohibited to the extent it could be construed as a form of harassment or intimidation. So keep all of that in mind. We don't have a course component to this, and I'll add that with paperwork. So you do not need to talk to our compliance officer today, Ms. Smith McDougall. You were free to log off. Mr. Andrews, you were also free to log off. And
so that's
logging
that.
off.
Am I?
Is it a dub? Did he get the W, or did he get the old L? Did he lose right there?
It was a 60-day temporary order, right?
Instead of a year,
which he was going for, which he wanted.
Yeah, that's what
No, it's
typically would be granted. Yeah,
she's already out of there, anyways. That's the thing.
He says he's not vindictive or anything like that, but why are we here then?
Right.
If she's already moved out.
Yeah.
She's obviously doesn't want to come back to the house with no lights.
There wasn't a whole lot of obviously the two don't get along. I think that's what Judge Dude was going after, is that part of it. That they both need to part ways. I don't think
there's a lot of little quick bullet points with the possible R wording, the suggested stolen drugs, the guys, hot and cold running guys coming through the house threatening him at various times.
Yeah, and I guess you can take that into some consideration, but at the same time, really the only violence that happened was him actually getting hit with the door. I mean, that's
smashed with the door.
Came down to it. Yeah, there were some threats here and there, and I'll tell you the worst part about all of this, though, is the fact that we knew that he had somebody to come in and talk, and then we found out that it was the potential R worder.
That was it. He was not coming on. He was done. He's like, oh yeah, I'm done, man. Yeah, you're on your own.
And I don't blame him. Jim, thank you. Enjoy your emergency. I have an emergency at the door. I'll BRB real quick.
Okay, while Creed's doing that, that's when I let you guys know this. If you're following us over there, subscribe. I guess that'd be more the word. Subscribe over on the Credence and Mikey YouTube's channel. You're going to be getting a brand new, hot spanking new court case today at 3. A lot of first appearance stuff where you've got a kidnapper showing up for their hearing. Then you've got a possible unlawful search that may have a bunch of drug charges dropped. A lot of really interesting stuff there. And then at 5:05 today, another Judge Cedric Simpson day dropping, where we've had a guy show up naked for court, Creed.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Naked.
You had to tune in to find out more. It's called a teaser, my friend.
Like that.
A teaser.
No, sorry, Emily just got back with the groceries, I guess. She went and did some shopping.
Hell yeah.
Shopping, dude. And the dog is so lazy because it's so hot out. The dog's so lazy, she just sits in her chair and just looks out the window and just barks incessantly. Just doesn't stop.
It's a tough day.
Get up, unlock the door for mom. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. Man, I'm still so I like to have like a decisive ending to these, but this one's really still up in the air in my mind.
Yeah, it's a toss up.
I don't feel as if he won, and that's
no, he didn't.
My boys are coming through express. Joe, thank you. Gary, flush of the thug. Got it bad, so bad. I'm hot for Donna. Miss Carrie with a birthday in a couple of days. Cherry, the first timer. Carol and Jim. Thank you guys.
Oh, yes. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit the old like button, because without the likes, YouTube thinks this video sucks. Simple as that. We need your love. We need your time. We need your loving all the time. So stay safe, stay hard, stay tuned, because these top guys, they're coming to a town near you. I love you.